when my sister's true face was revealed. The conference call was running over schedule. My Hong Kong partners were debating merger terms, and I was deep in spreadsheets when my office door creaked open. My 7-year-old daughter Emma stood there, tears streaming down her face. I held up one finger. "Just a minute, baby. One more minute." Then she whispered 5 words that shattered my entire world. "Mom, Aunt hit me." And what I heard next from the hallway made me realize I'd been living with a monster. Hello everyone. My name is Sarah Mitchell and I want to tell you about the day I discovered that my sister, the woman I trusted with my daughter's life, had been abusing her for months. This is a story about betrayal, guilt, and the moment I finally opened my eyes to the truth. It's about how the people we trust most can be hiding the darkest secrets. And it's about how one whispered confession changed everything. I am 35 years old. I'm a managing partner at a family investment firm. I have one daughter named Emma who is 7 years old. And I had a sister named Rachel who is 38. Notice I said had. We don't have a relationship anymore. Let me tell you why. 3 years ago, my husband died in a car accident. One moment we were a happy family planning our future. The next moment I was a widow with a 4-year-old daughter and a company that needed me. I was drowning. Financially we were okay because of the business, but emotionally I was barely surviving. I threw myself into work because if I stopped moving, I would fall apart. That's when Rachel offered to move in and help. "You need support," she said. "Let me take care of Emma while you handle the business. Family takes care of family." I was so grateful. Rachel had always wanted children but never had any. She loved Emma. Emma loved her. It seemed perfect. For 2 years, this arrangement worked beautifully. Or at least I thought it did. Rachel handled school pickups, homework, dinner. I focused on the company. I worked long hours. I traveled for business. I trusted my sister completely. Emma was safe with her aunt. That's what I believed. But I was wrong. So terribly wrong. That Thursday in October started like any normal day. Emma went to school. I had back-to-back meetings. Rachel picked Emma up at 3 o'clock like always. At 4:30, I had a video call scheduled with our Hong Kong partners. Big merger discussion. 8 figures on the table. Important stuff. I was in my home office, camera off, reviewing documents while listening to the call. The house was quiet. Emma knew the rules. Don't interrupt Mom during work calls unless it's an emergency. Then my office door opened. Emma stood there. Her face was red. Her eyes were puffy from crying. She was holding her side. I looked at her and my first thought wasn't "What's wrong, baby?" It was "Not now, I'm in an important meeting." I'm ashamed to admit that. I held up one finger. The universal "wait 1 minute" sign. I turned slightly away, trying to focus on the numbers being discussed on the call. But Emma didn't leave. She walked closer. She came right up to my chair. And she whispered directly in my ear, her voice breaking with pain and fear, "Mom, Aunt hit me." My blood went cold. But I was still half focused on the call. Still thinking about merger terms and risk assessments. I hit mute on my microphone and whispered back, "What do you mean, sweetheart? Are you sure?" Emma nodded. Her little hands were shaking. She lifted her shirt just enough for me to see. There on her ribs was a red mark. Already turning purple. Already forming a bruise. In that moment, everything in me wanted to end the call. Wanted to scoop up my baby and run. Wanted to confront Rachel immediately. But I didn't. And I'll regret this for the rest of my life. I pulled Emma onto my lap. I held her close. And I whispered, "Stay right here with me, baby. We'll talk about this as soon as my call is done. I promise." I unmuted myself. I tried to focus on the discussion. But I couldn't process anything. The words were just noise. Emma sat perfectly still in my arms. So quiet. So small. So hurt. 10 minutes passed. They felt like 10 hours. And then I heard it. My office door was slightly open. From down the hallway, I heard Rachel's voice. She was on her phone. She must have been in the kitchen, pacing like she always did when she talked on the phone. She didn't know I could hear her. She had no idea. I know, Rachel was saying. Her voice was tight. Frustrated. Angry. But you don't understand what it's like living here, playing second fiddle to her perfect little princess. Sarah acts like I'm just the help, like I'm some kind of live-in nanny. And Emma is so spoiled, always running to mommy about every little thing. I froze. My arms tightened around Emma. My Hong Kong partners were still talking about projected returns. I wasn't hearing them anymore. Rachel continued, her voice rising. She wouldn't stop whining about wanting to watch TV instead of doing her homework. She actually rolled her eyes at me, so yes, I gave her a smack. Our mother did the same to us, and we turned out fine. This generation is too soft. A little discipline never hurt anyone. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it might explode. I looked down at Emma. She was trembling. Tears were soaking through my blouse. Rachel kept talking. No, I didn't leave a mark. Well, maybe a small one, but it'll fade. Sarah won't notice anyway. She's too busy with her precious company to pay attention to what actually happens in this house. Between you and me, I don't think she'd care if she did know. Work always comes first with her. That last line hit me like a physical punch. Not because Rachel said it, but because part of me was terrified it might be true. How many times had I chosen a conference call over a bedtime story? How many times had Emma tried to tell me something while I was answering emails? How many school events had I missed? But this was different. This was my baby being hurt. And I had been so consumed with work that I hadn't noticed. How long had this been going on? I heard Rachel's footsteps coming down the hallway. She was walking toward my office. Instinct took over. I pulled Emma closer. I hit the mute button. My daughter looked up at me with those big, trusting eyes. And in that moment, every single priority in my life rearranged itself with absolute clarity. Work didn't matter. The merger didn't matter. Nothing mattered except the little girl in my arms who had been suffering while I was too busy to notice. I have to go, I said into the microphone. I didn't mute this time. My voice was steady, cold, final. Family emergency. James, you have my proxy vote. Approve the merger with the terms we discussed. I'll review contracts tomorrow. Someone started to ask if I was okay. I was already ending the call. The screen went black. Rachel appeared in my doorway just as the call disconnected. She looked surprised to see Emma in my lap. I watched her eyes dart to Emma's shirt, checking to make sure it was pulled down, hiding the evidence of what she'd done. There you are, Emma, Rachel said with fake cheerfulness. I was looking for you. We need to finish your homework before dinner. Her voice was so normal, so casual. Like nothing had happened. Like she hadn't just hit a child. I looked at my sister. Really looked at her. And I realized I was staring at a stranger. Emma is staying with me for the rest of the day, I said quietly. My voice was calm but there was steel in it. We need to talk, Rachel. Without Emma present, I saw panic flicker across Rachel's face. Just for a second. Then it was gone, replaced by confusion. Talk about what? Is everything okay? I looked at Emma. Sweetie, go to your room and pick out a book. I'll be there in 5 minutes to read with you. Emma hesitated. She looked between me and Rachel. She was clearly afraid. Afraid of what would happen if she left. Afraid I wouldn't really come. Will you really come, Mom? She asked. You promise? That question broke something inside me. How many promises had I made and broken because of work? How many times had I said in 5 minutes and it turned into an hour? I promise, baby, I said. 5 minutes. I'm done working for today. After Emma left, Rachel closed the office door. She crossed her arms. She looked defensive already. Sarah, whatever she told you. I heard you, I interrupted. My voice was shaking now. Not with fear. With rage. On your phone call. I heard everything you said. All the color drained from Rachel's face. She opened her mouth. Closed it. Opened it again. We stared at each other. Two sisters who had grown up together, who had shared a childhood, who had cried together when our parents died, who had lived together for 2 years. In that moment, I realized I didn't know her at all. "You hit my daughter," I said. Each word felt like I was spitting out poison. "You hurt a 7-year-old child because she wanted to watch TV. And then you called her spoiled. You called me absent. And you know what the worst part is? You were planning to hide it from me because you thought I wouldn't notice. Or worse, that I wouldn't care." Rachel's face shifted from shocked to defensive. "Sarah, I barely touched her." "Stop." I held up my hand. "I saw the bruise, Rachel. That's not barely touching. That's assault. Of a child. My child." Rachel's expression changed again. Now she looked angry. "Don't be so dramatic. A little smack never hurt anyone. Mom did the same to us when we acted out." I stood up. I was shaking. And it was wrong when Mom did it too. But I was too young to know better then. I'm not too young now. What happened next was one of the ugliest conversations of my life. Rachel argued that I was overreacting. That I'd been too lenient with Emma. That children needed firm boundaries. She claimed she'd only been trying to help. That she'd sacrificed her own life to move in and take care of us. She cried. She apologized one moment and defended herself the next. "I gave up everything for you," she said. "I moved in here to help you. I put my life on hold. And this is how you thank me." I stared at her. "I didn't ask you to hit my child. I didn't ask you to hurt her. That's not help. That's abuse." Rachel's face twisted with anger. "You're so ungrateful. You have no idea what it's like, living in your shadow. You have everything. The company. The money. The perfect daughter. And I'm just the spinster sister who gets to play nanny." There it was. The real truth. The resentment that had been building for years. "So you took it out on Emma?" I asked. "You hurt an innocent child because you're jealous of me?" Rachel's eyes filled with tears. "I didn't mean to hurt her. I just got so frustrated. She was being so difficult. And you weren't there. You're never there." I took a deep breath. "Pack your things. I want you out of this house tonight." Rachel's jaw dropped. "You're kicking me out. Where am I supposed to go?" I walked to the door. "I don't care. Stay with a friend. Get a hotel. But you're not staying here. You will never be alone with my daughter again." Rachel's shock turned to rage. "You can't do this. I'll tell everyone what kind of mother you are. I'll tell them you care more about money than your own child. I'll fight you on this." I opened the door. "Go ahead. Tell whoever you want. But you will never touch Emma again." Rachel left that night. She called a friend and stayed with her. The next day, I arranged for a moving company to pack up her things and deliver them to a storage unit. She sent angry texts. Threatening voicemails. She said I was overreacting. She said I was destroying our family. She said she'd sue me. I blocked her number. That night, I crawled into Emma's bed. I held her while she cried. And she told me everything. The hitting had been going on for months. There had been other times. Slaps on the legs. Yanking her arm too hard when she didn't move fast enough. Squeezing her wrist until it hurt. Nothing that left obvious marks. Nothing she thought I would believe over her beloved aunt's word. "I tried to tell you once, Mommy," Emma said through her tears. "Remember? A few weeks ago? But you were working on your computer and you said I'm sure Aunt Rachel didn't mean it, honey." I felt like I'd been stabbed. I remembered that conversation. I'd been halfway listening while answering emails. Emma had tried to tell me and I'd dismissed her. "I'm so sorry, baby," I whispered. "I should have listened. I should have paid attention. This is my fault." Emma shook her head. "Aunt Rachel said if I told you, you wouldn't believe me. She said you loved work more than you loved me." I pulled her closer. "That's not true. That will never be true. You are the most important thing in my world. And I'm going to prove it to you." The next few weeks were difficult. I made big changes. I stepped back from day-to-day operations at the firm. I appointed a new managing partner. I'm still involved in major decisions, but I'm no longer working 60 hours a week. I take Emma to school every morning. I pick her up every afternoon. We have dinner together every night. Phones off. Just us talking about our days. I found a therapist for Emma. Someone who specializes in trauma and family issues. Emma goes once a week. I go to therapy too. Separately and together. Emma is learning that what happened wasn't her fault. That she deserved to be believed. That her feelings matter. I'm learning that being a good mother doesn't mean being perfect. But it does mean showing up. Paying attention. Protecting your child above everything else. Rachel tried to reach out several times. She sent an email asking if we could move past this unpleasantness. I didn't reply. She called from different numbers. I blocked them all. She showed up at the house once. I called the police. Some betrayals are unforgivable. Some relationships can't be salvaged. And that's okay. My daughter is safe now. That's what matters. Looking back, I'm haunted by all the signs I missed. The way Emma became quieter over those months. The way she stopped talking about her day at school. The way she flinched sometimes when Rachel moved too quickly. The careful way she behaved around her aunt, always watching, always alert. How did I not see it? But I also know that dwelling in guilt helps no one. What matters now is what I do moving forward. And what I'm doing is choosing my daughter. Every single day. In every single way. If there's anything I want other parents to take from my story, it's this: trust your children when they tell you something is wrong. Don't assume they're exaggerating. Don't let your busy schedule or your faith in other adults override your child's voice. Pay attention to the little changes in their behavior. Sometimes a whisper is the loudest cry for help they can manage. 6 months have passed since that day. Emma is doing better. She smiles more. She laughs more. She talks more. She knows that when she speaks, I listen. Really listen. She knows that nothing is more important than her. Not work. Not money. Not anything. She still comes into my office sometimes when I'm working from home. But now, when she opens that door, I close my laptop immediately. I pull her into my lap. I give her my full attention. Because I learned the hard way that the most important meeting I'll ever have is the one where my daughter needs me. That Thursday afternoon, that conference call cost me a lot. It cost me my comfortable childcare arrangement. It cost me my relationship with my only sibling. It forced me to restructure my entire career. But it gave me something infinitely more valuable. It gave me my daughter's trust back. It gave me the wake-up call I desperately needed. And it gave me the courage to finally be the mother I should have been all along. Rachel sent one final email last month. She said she was sorry. She said she missed us. She said family should forgive family. I deleted it without responding. Because she's right that family should forgive. But she's wrong about what family means. Family protects. Family listens. Family puts children's safety above everything else. Rachel stopped being family the moment she hurt my daughter. Today, Emma and I are building a new life. Just the two of us. We have movie nights. We bake cookies. We talk about everything. She tells me when she's scared or sad or angry. And I listen. Every single time. The business is doing fine without me being there every second. Turns out the company doesn't need me to work myself to death. But Emma needs me to be present. To be aware. To be the parent she deserves. That's a lesson I learned too late. But at least I learned it. Some parents never do. They keep prioritizing work. Keep trusting the wrong people. Keep missing the signs. Until it's too late. I almost became one of those parents. I almost lost my daughter, not physically, but emotionally. I almost proved Rachel right. That work mattered more than Emma. But when Emma whispered those 5 words, "Mom," "Aunt hit me," something inside me woke up. The fog of grief and workaholism lifted. And I finally saw what mattered. Not the merger. Not the company. Not proving I could do it all. What mattered was the little girl in my arms who trusted me enough to tell me the truth. Even though I'd let her down before, even though I'd dismissed her concerns, she gave me one more chance. And I didn't waste it. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it helps someone out there. If you're a parent drowning in work and guilt, please slow down. Please pay attention. Please listen to your children when they speak. Because sometimes they're trying to tell you something important. And if you miss it, you might not get another chance.